guys, and welcome to Yosemite. It feels like it's been a minute since I've been here actually. I've not been in the winter that much this year, so it's really nice to be back. I've just parked at Happy Isles. It is a Saturday and the reservation system's in place. Luckily I did have a reservation, but you can see a lot of people have come to the park early, as obviously you need to be here before 5 AM on Saturdays and Sundays in June. If you don't have a reservation. So the parking lot was completely full and I think I got like the last space. So I'm feeling very lucky. And I'm going to do a hike, which I never normally do in like the summertime and when it's busy on a weekend, which is the Mist Trail. So this is one of the, I'd say probably is the most popular trail in the park. Especially because it's not as difficult as the 4-mile trail or the Upper Yosemite Falls trail. So you tend to get more of a variety of people doing this trail. But the views are amazing of Nevada and Vernall Falls, and also because of the time of year, the water is really flowing at the moment, and this is going to be like the peak sort of water flow for this year, so I thought it'd be a good time to go and check it out. So come along with me. It's going to be busy, but I will do my best to show you the trail in full. So while I parked a little bit further out, if you can't park at Happy Isles or at Curry Village, you can always take the shuttle bus, which loops around the park, and it will drop you off here at the Happy Isles Nature Centre. And then straight in front, you'll see clear signs for the Mist Trail, which is just on the other side of this bridge. There's some really awesome views of the valley. You can even see up in Yosemite Falls and hear them rushing most everywhere. And it gets louder and louder and louder as you get closer to the Footbridge, which is a big turnaround point. So a lot of people that maybe are a bit more restricted with their hiking, or if they have a stroller, that's as far as they're going to go. So this is always the busiest section of the whole trail. Another shot of Yosemite Falls. You can see all the talus rocks, and this is a really good habitat for wildlife because there's lots of places to hide. And I actually saw a black bear here about 5 years ago. None today by the looks there. And just here you can see Yosemite Falls, and that's Yosemite Creek up there, which connects to the Panorama Trail and up to Glacier Point. And if you're interested, it's an 18-mile circular from the valley, and I have 2 videos on the channel with that hike, so if you want to check that out, click the link in the description below. It's another shot of Yosemite Falls. You can see all the talus rocks, and this is a really good habitat for wildlife because there's lots of places to hide. And I actually saw a black bear here about 5 years ago. None today by the looks there. So back at that footbridge for Vernall Falls, you'll have pit toilets, and there's also water as well that you can refill your bottles. It is only seasonal though, so they shut it off from usually about October through to about May. So just bear that in mind, it's not a reliable water source. And then next up, we're going to follow the river, and right up ahead is Vernall Fall, and you'll keep getting glimpses until you get a full view as you get closer.
You'll soon find this trail junction where you can take the John Muir Trail
further up and head up towards Glacier Point and other destinations. However, I'm going to be coming down that way today, so I'm going to take the mist trail, which is obviously the main part of the mist trail, up past the Vernall Fall area, which is where you really get all the mist, hence the name. So just over a mile into the trail, you'll come to the falls, and this is why it's called a mist trail. You can see how wet the floor is already. The steps are a real workout and they get very, very slick. So especially coming down later in the day when it's more crowded, you have to be super careful. A million steps, you come to this last stretch, which will take you to the top of the falls. What's really cool is a few years ago, a blackbird took this exact section of the trail. I'm absolutely soaked through. That's the most water I've ever had of that trail. So as you can probably tell, there are a bunch of people down there. It's a really popular spot for people to stop and just have a snack and a rest after the steps. But I always recommend walking just a little bit up the trail, and you'll find quite a lot of really cool places that you'll have the whole thing to yourself. The log is just floating and moving around in the water, and that's a slick granite slab that you can normally see later in the season, but you can really see the water gushing down there and then pooling in this section. So I've just found this rock to rest a little bit. I've got some banana bread, and it's taken me 55 minutes to get to this point from the trailhead. So, sorry, from the car park. So it's quite quick. I've only taken quite a few people. There's a lot of people heading up to Half Dome and doing backpacking trips. But yeah, a bit of time for a break. Just from where I'm sat, you can see there's a little sign just here, and there's a pit toilet that you can use just up there, and then there's another one at the top of the next falls. So you just keep following on straight along the water and up this way. There's a Stella's blue jay, it's bobbing along there. So here is another one of those trail junctions. So this way will take you up to Clock Point, and you can connect on to the JMT and then the Panorama Trail up to Glacier Point, or you can take the Mist Trail, 1.3 miles up to Nevada Falls. Look at this view, it's insane. Wow. So after the footbridge, you hike away from the water, and it feels like eerily quiet sometimes because you've had all that noise of that rushing water. And even though I can still hear it slightly now, later in the season, it's almost non-existent. But being a Saturday, the trail is quite busy, and there are quite a few groups that I've sort of frog hopped with. But this section of the trail is one of my favourites because it does briefly feel quite quiet, which is quite nice. And it's like a gentle climb through the forest until you come back to the water, and then it will be time to climb the switchbacks up to Nevada Falls. So just around this corner, I was hiking in September, I think it was in 2019, and I just took a little photo on my iPhone, and it just really captured like how beautiful this hike is. And I actually wrote a song as I was hiking in my head, and I ended up recording that song. It's called Pacific High. It is available on Spotify. I'm not going to sing it now, and I will tell you the lyrics. I'm not singing it, but it says, "Sunrise in Northern California, bark and pine fill the air, my happy place I'm heading. Who knows when I'll be back again." And I think it really just embodied how I felt that day about, I love this place so much. And sometimes I might not come for a few months, and then there was COVID where I didn't come for a long time, so it just meant quite a lot, and it was just strange that I thought of it in this exact spot. So if you want to listen to the song, it is on YouTube and it is on Spotify and Apple Music. Rob James, Pacific High, of Nevada Falls. On this section are so good, and the good thing is the water all blows the other way, so you don't get soaked. So I've just hit the 3 mile mark, and once again I've come in away from the water. There's a lot of switchbacks, and they're pretty intense. They're not, you know, it's quite exposed. But there's loads of wildflowers. I'm not sure what the names are of all of them, but I've taken a few pictures and videos, but really, really pretty. It feels like all of a sudden it just feels like summer. And I tend not to come into the valley in the summer, as I said earlier, because it gets quite crowded, and I really like the high country hikes of Tiger Road, which is probably going to open in the next couple of weeks. So I'm really glad that I've come in today and experienced the valley in summer, because I don't do it that often. But I'm not too far from the top now, and when I get up there I'm going to have a drink and another snack. But yeah, it's been a really good hike so far. I've clocked 3 miles since I left the car in the parking lot, and it's taken me an hour and a half to get to this point, so I'm not doing too bad at all. Obviously the altitude can affect you, and if you're not used to it, I mean, I've not done it for a while, but especially if you've never done it before, probably will affect you a little bit more than others. So just be mindful that it might take you longer. Don't compare to my times, because mine might be different to yours. So yeah, that's my motivational speech of the day. And for the first time in ages, there's no one near me, because it has been really busy. But I'm just climbing up through this last stretch. It's another trail junction. It's a half dome, clouds resting Tenaya Lake, just in this direction. And you can follow the trail sign over to the falls. So once you take that turn over to Nevada Falls, the trail levels out, and once again there's loads of really cool spots where you can sit by the river. Sometimes in the heat of the summer I've just sat there with my feet in the water for a little bit to cool them down. But it's really pretty up here, it's really warm, and as I said, pretty flat. So at the moment there's not too many people here, so I'm just going to look for a nice spot and take 5. This place really feels like summer. It's just so warm, and you get all the granite around you, the rush of the water, lots of people as well chilling out and stuff, but lots of cool photo opportunities. So I'm going to take a well-deserved break. So I've just got down to the bottom of Nevada Falls and that footbridge with that really good view I showed you earlier, and ultimately to that trail junction. And I've decided that I'm going to head on the trail up to Clark Point. Reason being, even though it's a little bit, it's 0.3 miles of climbing up to get up there, but then I can take the John Muir Trail back to the valley, which is a series of switchbacks. And it also means I get to avoid the steps. And whilst the mist trail is stunning and does look amazing, the problem is when there's that many people on like a Saturday and it's so slippy, people go really slow, which is good because they're being safe. But it takes ages, and I actually find it more frustrating going like one step at a time. And I have so much time today, like I've got a really free day here in the park. So yeah, I'm actually camping here tonight, so I'm in no rush whatsoever to get out, and I just figured why not make the hike a little longer and head up there. So that's what I'm doing now. In the winter it's a bit busier, as people tend to use it for the winter route. So the winter route up to Clark Point, as you can see, is quite rocky. And when you've just been walking on sand, oh, lizard, walking on sand most of the way here, it's a big change. There's all these cool peaks, there's the falls. I just came from up there. Now normally, where you cross the bridge you can go on and down, but that's closed for just a rock slide. So this is the only way. at the moment. But yeah. So this is the section that I normally take when I come down from Glacier Point and the Panorama Trail, and you can see the trail just in the back, but it's closed for a rockfall at the moment, although some people did climb over the fence and hike it, which is so bad and so dangerous. So yeah, and then it's just straight down here, 2.3 miles back to the valley floor, and it will reconnect. Just ahead of the Footbridge, so before the stairs and all the mist from Vernall Falls. But it's really gorgeous up here. It's a lot quieter as well than the spots near the big falls, and you get a really nice view. So yeah, it's really nice. So one thing you'll really notice on the John Muir Trail section is that it's just so quiet compared to the Mist Trail. Like, there's hardly anybody about. Now the John Muir Trail is a 211 mile trail to Mount Whitney, and it starts or ends here in Yosemite, and this is one of the first sections of the trail, and a lot of thru hikers actually skip this bit because the Mist Trail is obviously so unique. So yeah, it's quite quiet, but it's been nice. It's a lot of switchbacks, a lot of stones, so I use my hiking poles just to give me a bit more support, and it means I can hike a bit faster then as well. In total, I clocked just under 9 miles over 3 hours and 10 minutes. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe to the channel.